Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Braedyn, and today I'm going to be taking you through an arms race workout. The focus of this workout is going to be upper body strength. So a couple of things you're going to need is if you have any dumbbells, I would highly recommend using those. I just have a hydro flask here. It's kind of filled up with a lot of water that I'm just going to use as my substitute. Also, if you have a stool of some sort or like a little chair you can lean off of, something like this would work perfectly. And then the last thing you're going to need is a little bit of an odd request, but if you have like a long hand towel, or in my case, I'm just going to be using one of my blankets just kind of wrapped up into a rope here. We're going to be using that for a kind of bicep isolation exercise, but those will be later. For now, we're just going to get into a little warm up here. So if you just want to march in place, we're just going to get the heart pumping, kind of get the blood flowing in the lower legs a little bit before we stretch out the upper body. We're going to kick this up into high knees in a few seconds here. 3, 2, 1, into high knees. Good. Remember, get them up about as high as you can go. You really want to be bouncing off your calf, raising yourself up. Good. Keep going here. Go about 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Gonna get into some arm swings here. Like I said, the focus of our workout is gonna be the upper body. So we really wanna focus on warming up the chest and the shoulders, especially around the rotator cuffs. That is definitely gonna get moved the most. Speaking of rotator cuffs, this next warm up we're gonna do here, if you wanna take your fists and place them right at a 90-degree angle, what you're going to be doing is just rotating outwards. So kind of focusing on warming up the shoulder joint there, as I was mentioning before. You don't want to go too fast with these. You're really just trying to feel the stretch out. Good. Now if you want to raise them straight up, we're going to go down like this. Same thing, working on those rotator cuffs. This is actually a little bit of warm up I like to do before my upper body days. Get everything nice and loose, before you start any big heavy lifting. Awesome. To wrap it up, we're going to warm up our tricep here with a little bit of a stretch. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up and overhead. And then with your other arm, you're going to grab your elbow and pull down just slightly. You'll feel a little bit of a tension there. We're just going to hold it. Good. If you want to switch over, we'll do the right side now, above your head. Good. Again, you don't want to put too much tension here. You don't want to be in pain. You just really want to be warming up that tricep and getting it loose. All right, solid. Good job, guys. So, first exercise we're going to be getting into is bent over rows. I'm sure you're familiar with them. So, if you do not have weights, don't feel like you're going to miss out during this workout. You can still do all the movements without it. But again, if you do have a dumbbell or a hydro flask with like a handle or some way to grab it, that's really going to benefit you during this. So for the rows, the initial position you're going to take is a little bit of a bend in your knees, and you're going to bend forward, keeping your spine neutral though. You don't want to arch too much over or stiffen up too much. So it's a nice natural position. You want to take a deep breath and tighten your core when you're in this exercise. And what you're going to be doing is pulling your elbows back towards your hips. So just like this. If you have those weights, they'll be right in your hands. If you have a single weight like me, you can kind of do it, and halfway through these exercises, that's 4 there. 5. Now I'm going to switch hands and do it with the other 5 on this hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. If you want to set your weight down, shake it out a little bit. We're going to do one more set of these. All my exercises are structured. The first set is kind of a walkthrough, and I'll show you how to do it. And then the second set, I'll show you some modifications and some ways to kind of take it up a notch for yourself if the first time you felt that you could handle it pretty well. So I'm going to face you this time doing the rows. So the way you're going to modify this exercise is actually your hand position. So instead of keeping it neutral right here and pulling back, what you're going to do is your hand's starting here, and as you pull up, your hand is going to rotate into kind of like a curl position. So with your weight, it's going to look something like this. Pulling back and rotating those hands up. That's going to hit those biceps. It's just going to be a little bit of a different movement for you. It's going to be 5 right here. Good. I'm going to switch hands. Let's finish off with 5 good ones here. 1, 2, good job, you got it. 3, keep that core tight. Last one. Good. All right, drop your weight, shake it off. I hope you have a water bottle nearby. If you don't, pause the video, go grab it. Water is very important for your exercises, especially quick sips while you get your breath here. The next exercise we're going to be going into is some shoulder work. So this exercise is known as lateral raises. I'm going to be using my weight, my Hydro Flask weight here again, but if you just want to stand with your feet together, you're just going to be raising your arms straight up to your side here. We're going to do about 10 of these reps as well. 2, 3, you want to keep your core tight on this one. If you do have like a water bottle, I recommend you do it kind of slow. That way you're not, swinging the weight or anything. Remember to switch on your 5th rep. Make sure you're even hitting each side even. 2 more, 9, and 10. Good. Drop that weight. If you don't have that weight, again, you're just going to be doing the basic movement. It's not too much of a difference. If at all during this workout starts feeling a little bit tight, again, go back into those shoulder swings if you need to. Some rotations in there. Whatever. Take a breather. Pause as much as you need. If I start going a little too fast, feel free. Slow down. But we're going to get into another set of these lateral raises here. Ready? And begin. 1, 2, good. 3, good job, guys. There's 5, we're going to switch. You want to make sure there's just a little bit of a bend in your elbows when you're doing these. You don't want to keep your arm completely straight out like this guy. And that weight sometimes will kind of make you naturally bend, but that's just going to take some of the stress off of those elbows. And last one. Good, good. Shake it out again. I know it can be pretty tough. Next exercise we're going to be going into is just regular standing curls. Nothing too fancy yet with the towel or the blanket or anything. We're just going to be doing regular standing dumbbell curls. Most of these exercises also are going to be sets of 10. So if you ever kind of lose track, just know if you're doing about 5 for each arm or leg or whatever you're using, that's going to be perfect. So for the curls, again, just take a regular stance, just kind of inside shoulder width. And with your weights out to the side or your hands or your single weight here, you're just going to curl up and back down, keeping those palms rotated up towards the ceiling. And make sure you're really breathing during these exercises, especially if you're indoors like me. Definitely important to stay hydrated. Focus on your oxygen intake as well. Good. Switch hands here. Your arms might naturally drift out a little bit, kind of as you see my right arm doing here, but that's totally fine. It's the way your biceps are meant to move. It's the way they're meant to be hit. And 10. Good. If it feels a little bit weird rotating out like that and you kind of want to focus and curl inside a little bit more to hit a little bit of the inner bicep, that's totally fine. This next set, I'm going to show you a little bit of a modification on the regular curl. It's how you change your grip. So instead of, with your weight, instead of a regular grip like this, you are going to rotate it almost to the same position as you were doing those barbell rows in. So you're going to start here with your hands facing each other, with your palms facing each other, and then you're just going to curl straight up like that, and that's called a hammer curl. And you can even modify that too by going about halfway up in the hammer formation and then rotating your wrists and completing the rest of the repetition in the regular range. So it's kind of like a rotating curl, if you will. Do a couple more on this arm. 3, 4, and one more. 5. Good. All right. Now that we've hit the back and the biceps sufficiently, we're going to move on to the chest and the triceps. That's generally how I like to structure my workouts, is all the pushing muscles kind of go together and then all the pulling muscles on their own day. So this next exercise is going to be working the chest. It's going to be low to high flies. So if you've ever done cable flies, you might be familiar with these. But essentially what you're going to be doing is regular position as always. Your hands are going to come out here, and you're going to bring them kind of up in like a V formation, if you will, kind of in like a triangle. So bringing them up to a point together. You're going to be working the upper chest on this exercise. So you really want to focus on squeezing those pecs together when you get to the top. 6, 7, 3 more, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Same thing with those lateral raises. You want a little bit of a bend in those elbows, but not too much. You definitely don't want to be curling it up like that, but you don't want that weight to be putting too much on your wrists or anything. I'm going to grab my Hydro Flask weight for this second one here, show you from the front what it should be looking like. Here we go, 10 reps. 1, 2, 3, looking good. Keep that chest out, keep that spine neutral, that core engaged. I'm going to switch hands now. Good. Again, if you have that single weight, don't feel free to move that other arm. You don't need to take one out of the equation just because it doesn't have resistance. You can always practice the proper range of motion. That's good. Awesome, guys. So the next exercise we're going to be getting into, like I said, we are pairing muscle groups together, and we're going to be hitting triceps. So we're going to be doing an overhead extension. So I'm going to grab my weight here, and the way this is going to look without weight is your arm is going to go above your head, and you want to keep your elbow pretty straight behind you in the same position. So you're just going up and down using only the tricep to push it. So if you have a weight, you can just kind of grab it, put it behind your head, whatever feels good for you. And we're going to do 8 reps with this arm. 1, 2, good. 2 more. Solid. We're going to switch sides now. You can do these in the gym with just one dumbbell and both your hands. That is also called an overhead extension. You can go a lot heavier with those, but I like these exercises because they tend to isolate the tricep a little bit more, give you more of a burn, if you will. So there's 2. We're going to be doing 6 more here. Two more. Good. Set your weight down. If you have that stool nearby, it's perfect to set on. If not, you can just set it down, shake it out, whatever's nice for you. If you want to keep holding it, feel free. All right. Into our second set here. If you do have a Hydro Flask with a handle like this, it's kind of nice because you can just wrap your fingers through it and kind of just hang it behind your head. So it makes a nice weight with all the water in there. Four. And last one, 8. Good. Good job, guys. I know it might be hurting right now. If you need to take a pause a little bit, like I said, slow down, feel free. If I'm going too slow and you want to bust out 10 reps while I do 8, feel free. This is your workout. Definitely change it to whatever your intensity is. 5, 3 more. 7, and 8. Good. All right. We're going to move away from the triceps now, back into the shoulders. I'm going to do a little bit of a shakeout here before I continue. We're going to be going into some rear delt flies. So this next one, it works the upper back as well as the shoulders. So a little bit of a combo exercise, if you will. You're going to start in the same position as you would for the bent over rows. So a little bit of a bend in your knees, kind of shift your weight forward, if you will, keeping that spine nice and neutral, getting that core engaged. And on this one, you're going to take your formation, but instead of going back, you're actually going straight out to the side like this. So I'll change and do it facing forward, facing you. That way it's a little bit better here, but it's going to look like this, going straight out. And you'll definitely feel the upper back here working as you pull out. So if you have that weight, add it. If not, you can just do the range of motion with your hands, whatever works for you. We're going to do 10 reps here. Good. Last one. 10. Good. Drop. Shake it. I know I'm feeling it. I don't know about you guys. Definitely feeling it on these upper body workouts. They are my favorite though. Absolute favorite. We'll get into this here. I'll show you what it looks like with some weight as well. If you do have a hydro flask and you want to wrap your hand around it, it's kind of better to grip from the side if you can get your hand around it too. All right, here we go, guys. Bend over. 10 reps. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Switch. If you have that single weight, 4 and 5. Good. Good job, guys. Keep going here. All right, we're going to move straight into a little bit more shoulder work, but instead of the rear delt this time, we're going to be tackling the front delt. So I'm sure you're familiar with the shoulder press. Neutral stance here, and you get your arms up into a goalpost-like fashion, and then you just press straight up. You don't have to join them together and squeeze yourself at the top. You just want to make sure you're getting that full extension and coming all the way down. Same thing with the full range of motion at the top. You also do not have to come all the way down here with your weight. Just 90 works perfectly. I'm going to bust out a couple more reps here. 2, last 1, and 1. Good. Shake that out. Grab some water if you need. This next one is going to be a little bit of a modification on the traditional shoulder press. So again, this one kind of works on how you rotate your hands. So instead of starting out here, your position is actually going to shift, and you're going to start a little bit closer with your palms facing you. And as you press up, you're going to rotate your hands into this position facing away from you, basically. So you're starting here, pressing and rotating. It's a little bit hard to see my hands on the camera here, so I'll try to move back, but we're going to do about 8 more of these. Otherwise, if you like the normal version of just going straight out to the side, feel free to just do these guys as well. Just a little bit of a different feeling depending on how you want your workout to go. 2 more reps here. Good. Good job, guys. All right. Now for the last 2 arm exercises for our bicep and our tricep. They are slightly unique ones, I would say. So this first one is a tricep dip. So if you have a stool or a chair that's kind of low that you can get onto, this is going to be perfect for that. If you do have a chair, I would advise putting something underneath it on the back though, because you are going to be putting most of your weight onto the chair or the stool. So you definitely don't want it, rolling back on you as you're working out. So what this is going to look like is, depending on your stool here, you're going to place your arms kind of directly to your side. So ideally, you want to have them like this, straight out on a bench like this guy, where you can just have them straight. But if you have something that's a little small, you can also put your hands in that neutral grip and go to the side like this. And the way this exercise is going to work is you're going to walk yourself out, and depending on where your feet are at and how much bend is in your knees is going to be how hard this exercise is for you. So starting here, you're just going to slowly lower yourself, and with your triceps, you're just going to push back up like that. 2, 3, 4, do about 4 more, 5, 6, 7, last one, 8. Good job, guys. All right, I'm going to adjust my stool here, get a little bit straighter for you. Like I said, the more bend is in your knees, the easier this one's going to be. If you walk your heels out, though, and throw your weight all the way back, you can really take this one up in its intensity and really hit your triceps super hard. So we're going to go back into it here, do about 8 more reps. All right, here we go. Ready? Put your weight out, get your feet set, and here we go. Down and up. Down and up. Down, up. Good job, guys. There you go. Keep those elbows back. Push with the triceps if you need to. Bend those knees. 7, last one. Come on, push. And 8. Good job. Good job, guys. All right, that is all you are going to need the triceps for, or the stool for. Triceps are done. Now on to one of my all-time favorite exercises. These are rope hammer curls, or in our case, I guess, towel or blanket hammer curls. So, as I mentioned before, if you have a hand towel or just something you can kind of roll up into a kind of noodle-like formation here, you're going to want to get your hands in that neutral grip again. And this exercise also works a little bit of balance. So if you want to do that, you might consider throwing in some towel curls to your daily training routine. So with either your left foot or right foot, it doesn't really matter, whichever foot, you are going to add your own resistance to this exercise. So just as you can kind of see here, you're just going to be curling up in that neutral position, really letting your biceps pull your leg up and not the opposite way around. You shouldn't be pushing yourself down, you know. Do about 4 more reps here. Good. All right, we'll take a little bit of a break here. I'll set that down. These guys really hit a different head of the bicep, so they make them look a lot thicker than your regular curls, which work on the peak of your bicep. So just kind of a modification of your normal curls, but definitely one of my favorites because I feel like you can always lift a lot more weight. So here we go, getting our next set here. If you do want to work a little bit of balance with this one, and say you started with your left leg into it first, switch to your right leg. Never hurts to get some balance work in whenever you can, right? So here we go, guys, 8 reps. 2. 2 more. Last one. 8. Good. Good job, guys. All right. Now that we have exhausted our upper body completely, we are going to transition our way to the ground now smoothly. I know it's a little bit hard to see me with how the camera is set up right now, so if you can't see my hands or my feet on this, I apologize. None of these exercises are too complex, though. So the first one we're going to be getting into is bird dogs. So this one's going to work a little bit of your shoulders, but mostly your lower back and your erector spinae. So for this one, you want to get into a plank position, but with your knees down and your back straight. And what you're going to be doing is your right leg will go out as your left arm goes out as well. And then you're going to rotate and do the other side. So you're basically alternating raising sides. So there's 2 for that side, 2, do 5 each side for a total of 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job, guys. Roll back on your knees here. Rest a little bit if you need to. We'll do 1 more set on these. Definitely a little bit harder. These guys are. Definitely a little bit of a different feeling in that lower back. Again, you want to keep that core engaged on these exercises. You don't want too much rounding going on. So we're going to get into it here. I'm going to move my stool a little bit more out of the way. So here we go, guys. Starting with that left side in 3, 2, 1. Good. Two more. 9 and 10. Good job, guys. All right, so if you're already in this position and you don't need to take a break, that's awesome, because we are actually going to jump into push-ups, our very last upper body exercise. So for these push-ups, sure you're familiar by now, you've probably done 100 of these guys, but you're going to get a just outside of your shoulder width grip, so it's going to look something like this. And you can start on your knees like me, and if you want to make this one kind of take it up to that next level, you can go up on your toes into the full position. I'm going to start on my knees here, and we're going to bust out 10 reps. Making sure those elbows don't flare too far out, and that you're engaging the chest mostly when you do this exercise. 2 more. Good. Good job, guys. All right, we'll shake that one off. We'll do one more after this. All right. I'll do this one facing you guys, and I'll scooch back a little bit so you can maybe see my hand placement. All right. So again, get up in that position, just outside shoulder width, down. There you go. Good. 3, 4, 5, 2 more, 1 more. Good. All right, guys. Good work. Good work. You want to get up, shake it out. That is most of our upper body done. We are going to move to the floor, finish off with some abs here, and then get a little bit of a cool down in. So for our ab circuit, we're going to do a series of 3 exercises. It is going to start with bicycle crunches, into Russian twists, and then finish off with a plank. So what that's going to look like is bicycle crunches, get into crunch position here. I'll scoot back a little bit. And you're going to be alternating and bringing your knee in. So when your right knee comes in, your left elbow is coming to meet it. They don't have to touch, just as close as you can get. This is really going to work those obliques. Really get this rectus abdominis as well. So here we're going to do about 10 of these guys like this. And then straight after that, we're going to go into Russian twists. So I will face the camera for this one, as it's a side-to-side movement. So same position, you're going to get your legs a little bit off the ground. And with your hands together, you're going to touch the ground next to you on either side. So basically working on the rotation to really hit the obliques. And then like I said, after we finish those 2 off, we're going to immediately flip around, hold that plank for about 30 seconds. So when you guys are ready, we're going to hit this as hard as we can for the last couple minutes here. Starting with those bicycle crunches, we're going to go hard for about 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good, guys, keep it up. If you need to go a little bit slow, feel free, or take a little bit of a rest and do one at a time. Do something like this. Modify it a little bit for yourself. Keep pushing. I know I feel the burn. I don't know about you. Good. All right. Solid work, guys. I'm going to flip and face you for these Russian twists. I'm going to get right into it here. 3, 2, 1. Good. A few more seconds, guys. You got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now flip over. We're going to hold that plank position. I'm sure you're familiar. You're going to get your hands. Actually, I'll do it facing this way again for you. Get your hands straight in front of you. Push yourself up. And you really want to keep those glutes engaged. Keep that core engaged as well. Focus on your breathing. This is the last exercise, guys. I know it burns. Hold it just a little bit longer. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome, guys. Good work. We're going to do a little bit of a cool down here. I know we're a little bit past our time limit, but it's always good to decrease that heart rate, get your body back to normal. So if you just want to do a little bit of arm circles here for a second with me, act like you're winding up a spool. So as you kind of wind, it gets smaller and smaller, tighter and tighter, until eventually it's right here. And then start unwinding it and going backwards, starting small, working your way out, unspooling that reel until you get really big. Awesome. Good work. And the last one is going to be a behind the back stretch here. Put your fingers laced together. You're going to push straight back, and you're going to push your chest out, really stretching out your biceps and your chest. Just going to hold this one here. A couple more seconds. And good. Awesome. Thanks for joining me, guys.